Hey, welcome back everyone. It is September 11th now, and a lot of Star Wars fans around the world have really been looking forward to the future of the Star Wars universe by, of course, Jon, George, and Dave Filoni, and exactly what they're beginning to put together for all of the Legends material that's about to be made canon, officially speaking, by Disney, and exactly how they're going to create ways and strategies to keep it as accurate as possible for the Star Wars fans. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing that a lot of fans have been very much looking forward to is, number one, the Ahsoka series, and number two, Mandalorian Season 3 for 2023. Now, there's a lot of, things going on with Mando Season 3. There might be a very big delay. Well, I shouldn't say a very big delay, but there will be a delay for Mando Season 3. Initially, it was slated for February of 2023 in the earlier portion of that month. It may be shifted a couple of weeks, hopefully not too long. Apart from that, hopefully it's not going to be a month or two. We'll have to wait and see. But they are still doing additional filming for the show to make it longer and to actually have some more surprising reveals. And that brings us to where we stand right now with Lucasfilm as a company and what Disney executives are doing behind the scenes to make some drastic changes to regulate the Star Wars universe and to really satisfy the majority of the Star Wars fans at heart. Now that brings us also to where Disney CEO Bob Chapek stands, and as well as the executives and what they're actually doing to actually replace Kathleen Kennedy and to get rid of her, and eventually to get a brand new Lucasfilm president that is actually happening and in the cards. Now, with both Favreau and Filoni currently developing The Mandalorian Season 4, it's described that Disney executives are beginning to make some big changes behind the scenes over at Lucasfilm in order to bring Star Wars into a better direction for fans. Now, with the executives holding a grand plan to change the Lucasfilm direction, they are already in the final stages of choosing who the new Lucasfilm president will be, and will be where they have gotten new big-time producers to join the roster of candidates to take over the role of president and to replace Kathleen Kennedy. Now, surprisingly, it's noted that the candidates that have now gone up to a total of 7, and will remain as is until they make their final decision. Now, this plan by Disney is concrete, and all of this is going to be a big moment for Lucasfilm, and is aimed to go into full effect sometime later in 2023. Almost a whole year before Kathleen Kennedy's contract ends in 2024 in the later half. Now, some of Disney's choices in the roster range from producers Jerry Bruckheimer, David Heyman, Neil H. Moritz, Charles Roven, Jon Favreau, and Steven Spielberg, as well as a mysterious producer alongside those that is currently not known at this time, is also a part of the list in the roster to become the new Lucasfilm president. Now, initially, this is a big shocker, Kevin Feige, who runs the MCU, was initially considered by CEO Bob Chapek, but he decided to drop him out of the list after the recent backlash from Marvel fans over the current phase of Marvel movies and TV shows. So let's just pause here quickly for a second before I get to the next thing that's really surprising. Now, the thing about this too that I think a lot of fans need to be very well aware of is that this is a very involved process that Disney has to be careful with. Now, some of those on the list, I'm not all that impressed, to be very honest with you guys. I would say the one that I would want most out of the 6 that we know of so far, the 7th one is currently unknown. I think that Spielberg could absolutely lend a lot of credit to Lucasfilm and building it from the ground up again. Now, the reason why I say Spielberg is because, in case you guys did not know, Spielberg actually helped George Lucas storyboard the Obi-Wan Kenobi vs. Anakin duel on Mustafar in Episode 3, and it's one of the main reasons as to why it was so very well done. Not saying that George didn't play a whole role in that, but it was even better than what it would have been if Spielberg was not involved. So Spielberg actually had a lot to do with Revenge of the Sith in a very indirect way. He didn't write it or anything like that, but he did storyboard some of it with George. And that brings us to the next thing here that's even all the more surprising, is that Disney is looking to get somebody very knowledgeable in Star Wars, and are also looking into possibilities of expanding the roster if they have to. So far, Favreau is looking unlikely to take the position. However, the current plan is for George Lucas to act as a temporary fill-in for President before they make the permanent solution. They plan to start this by the end of the third quarter of 2023, and will tease all of this by the end of spring next year. Kathleen Kennedy is fully aware about Disney's plan and strategy to get rid of her from Lucasfilm, and is already in the process of trying to find a way to voluntarily leave and step down before she is fired to keep that out of her film career's history. Here's the other kicker, alright, and we talked about this about 5 days ago. Kathleen Kennedy is indeed creating her own production company, alright, her own studio. It's going to be dubbed currently as Starlight Productions. It's going to be basically a production studio that's going to be primarily geared toward making sci-fi movies and sci-fi TV shows. And it's meant to actually compete against Star Trek and Star Wars. Now, obviously, she has a big plan that's slated to become a reality by 2025. She has no plans, by the way, to retire from the film industry. There's no plans in the cards for that. She wants to stay in this thing for as long as she can. The thing about this is that this just goes to show you that she does not care about Star Wars fans if she's so ready to leave right off the bat and creating her own company by 2025, which, by the way, is still in the works. Now, everything related to Bob Chapek and the Disney executives making these decisions and calling the shots on really expanding the roster with all these new producers on the list, I gotta say, I wouldn't be all that disappointed if they even got, Bruckheimer on board, but I think that the best here is going to be Spielberg, even though, he has had quite a number of, hits and misses here and there creatively with his films. I just feel that since he has a history with Lucas, it just kind of would feel right. But overall, the next thing that I do want to go over here that's very important about all of this is that Kathleen Kennedy, alright, is trying to create some leverage to keep her position as president of Lucasfilm by improving the Acolyte scripts. Now, the Acolyte series has been a production that's been in limbo for a very long time, ever since it was announced almost 2 years ago. It has gone almost nowhere. Scripts are now finally just beginning to actually see the light at the end of the tunnel, and they're trying to get this thing filmed. Like the actual real scenes, not like, the preliminary stuff that's being filmed right now. They want to get the main stuff filmed starting in, give or take, November to December, and that's looking very, very narrow right now. It all depends on exactly where they're going to go with the overall scripts and the story. But anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys have to say about this all below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.